Welcome and welcome to the present. How we doing today, Mr. D, aka Panther on the pitch in the building? How we doing today?
I'm good. I'm good, my brother. I'm chilling like a villain.
You should
Chilling.
you should be
What's up?
chilling. I'm all
I'm
right.
hyped.
I'm excited. Oh, don't worry. You will get jiggy very soon. I understand it's been a long day and everything, but ah, how do I put it? Yesterday before the match, when I saw the team news and I saw Kivio Azini, I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm not saying Kivio cannot do a decent job, but my expectation was to have Gabriel and Calafio on that left side. Did you share my fear too?
Uh, I was I afraid? No. And I'll tell you why I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid because it was Manchester United. Not because
Okay.
that, not because I'm trying to diss them. At this very point, they're not very good. That's one. Two, they just got a new manager in who is trying to implement his style with them. And this is the
Okay.
same manager who left that style at Sporting. And we had just beat Sporting a few weeks ago, like 5-1. They still play the same style that Amarin left behind with their interim manager, with the person who's managing them right now. They haven't changed it. So I was more like, all right, we know that style. We've played a team that is even more drilled in that style under the Amarin, regime before.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't the manager at the time. People will say he wasn't the manager, but remember, right after he left, this same Sporting team beats the next people they played 6-0.
Yeah.
So they still have that mentality of that style. So for us to beat them, I was like, United are not very good at the moment. He's still implementing his style. So I wasn't really worried. I felt like it was going to be like a 2-1 because I felt like okay, with Kiri or Zinchenko, we might leak a goal, but it would be a 2-1. But yeah, we did what we did. In the first half, I would say the margins were very slim. There was no difference between us and them. They looked even much better in the first half. They really, really, really played
Yeah.
us in the first half. But
Oh,
in the
do you
second
say?
half,
Would you say? Do you say you play us, or I think they contain us?
that's what I'm saying. They played us though. I mean, if they contained you, then that means they're not allowing you to play the ball you want to play. So they did a good job of making sure you can't play your game. And it wasn't like they were
Mhm.
playing any dark arts. No, they were playing good football. They were winning the second balls. If United had Rashford on the pitch in the first half, with the way they're winning second ball, if they had counted us one or twice, they could have broken through.
Could have, should have.
No, no, I know. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm saying that these
Yeah.
are things that the manager will learn. Of course, in hindsight, we can say that, but these are things he will learn because he's just getting to know the players, getting to know the team. So, understandably, so which is why I wasn't worried when I saw Zini and Kiri on the list.
I was worried. I'm like, no, because we know both Zini and Kivyo, they are iffy players. They are not horrible players. They are not on the level of holding. No, I'm not saying they're as horrible as holding. I'm just saying you cannot hang your hat on them to give you that 9/10 kind of performance. Or
But
am I being over?
that would be on the manager because Kirio is a left center back and not a left back.
Sure.
We've always played him as left back, so we've not gotten the best out of him. Every time we've played him left center back, the two times I've seen him play there, he looks phenomenal. We played him right center back the other time in one of the League Cup games, and he looked shaky as well. He's a player who thrives in his position. So why Mikel Arteta keeps playing him out of place, I don't know. Zinchenko, again, in certain games, the profile is an important profile to have on the team. He's not a
Sure.
left back. He's a midfielder for us. We only just play. It's like me saying Miles Lewis Kelly is a left back. He's not a left back. I know we're just playing him there because he's going to invert a lot. You know what I mean? His
I
first
get
job,
that point.
his first job is not to really defend per se when he's in the team. The way the team wants to play, and there are certain teams who play where Zinchenko's profile is perfect for it. Calafiori, he looked shaky in the last game. The game before this, he played well,
Against
but
West Ham, I don't think it was shaky.
he lost the ball a couple of times against West Ham. I know that it was out of zeal. He wants to show that he can do it. But the truth is, in as much as we're all, happy that we have a solid defense like that, there's still a lot of mistakes in that defense when it comes to people like Calafiori as well. So for me, I think the individual different profiles, when I look at the United, I'm like, well, United, Amarin is going to play a 3-5, he's going to play three at the back, which means he's going to flood the midfield. Zinchenko suits that game because we need somebody else inverting to join our midfielders. Otherwise, the
Sure.
midfield will get run over.
Yeah.
The midfield will
But
get run.
so I don't subscribe to the school of thought that Man U played very well because for me they were not doing much with the ball. They don't
Yeah,
do much with the ball. But we when we got the ball, I think we're a bit too lethargic, a bit too slow on the
They
ball.
made, they
Moving
made us.
the
We went. They made us play that way. If you go back and watch that first half,
how
it
come the second half we changed it? If
huh?
they've made us play that way, how come second half when we sped it up, it was different?
No, no. In the second half, I'm sure what Mikel Arteta did was he said, okay, let's. And again, let me tell you why I think even in the second half, even though we played better, we only got our
Yeah.
goals set pieces. We didn't get an open play goal, which means that they really, really stifled us on the wings.
But games, some games can be like that sometimes.
That's what I'm saying, but that's dependent on your opponents. If your opponent stifles you that way, like if the game was slightly open, would have scored from open play. Arsenal would have scored from open play. If United were slightly open, if they were slightly cut through open, we would have scored. But we not that we
Yeah,
didn't.
Trust had a chance. He should have done better with.
That's what I'm
I had
saying.
a chance to have done better with.
Some better ways.
So,
So
but
when we realized,
United fans are pushing narratives that seem as if we did not have any open chance like that. I'm like, no. Go.
we had open chances, but not as much
Yeah.
as we would have in other games. Like against West Ham, we know how many open chances we had. Against Sporting, we know how many. Against Nottingham Forest, we know how many. Like we can keep looking back and back and back and see that in certain games. Against this is how you know that they defended very well and they played very well. We had 13 corners, which means that every time we went to their post to try to score, they defended and got those balls into corner kicks.
Definitely. They played back five. So
that tells you something. That tells you a lot about how defensive they were. So you have to give them props for that, regardless of whether or not the eye test may not be right, but the numbers don't lie. 13 corners means we penetrated you 13 times and you were able to.
I get it, but that's why I don't go with statistics alone. I like to watch the game in conjunction with statistics so I can make an informed decision or informed assessment or appraisal of the game, because statistics sometimes can be very misleading if you do not watch the game to combine both data. Well, you get my drift, right? Because sometimes if you go solely statistics, it might be a bit or a tad misleading to the whole general conversation. So the first half, we didn't have scores of chances. It was a bit slow, and I was thinking, we need to win this game, especially when I was watching side by side the Newcastle versus Liverpool. We needed to win the game. What do you think Arteta said to the players in second half, and we just up the tempo a bit?
I think he just told them do the same thing but up the tempo, because that's what we did. We played the same way we played in the first half. This time around, we upped the tempo by making sure we won the second balls, we won the first balls, and we just kept the pressure going, and that's what caused a lot of those set pieces that eventually turned into a goal. Because Arsenal realized, like, okay, if we stepped up the pressure, and they were still defending, and we had to go through a corner kick. Like, that's how much they stepped up in their defense. United looked way better than anything I've seen them look all season. Let's be honest.
Because they packed the back five, and they had Ugarte doing the dogman work in the midfield with Mason Mount. Even Bruno was not attacking as much as you expect them to do.
I agree with you, but it's the same way people are saying, well, set piece FC is the same way we can point at them and say, oh, they play defensive. Yeah, they came to play not to lose, but Arsenal had to find a way to score. So we found a way to win by using set pieces. So they came to not lose the game, and they did a good job. I'm telling you, honestly speaking, I can't even sit here and diss them and try and banter them for where they are at because of the stage they're at and the rebuild.
You're being generous. You're being generous. The reason why I would not agree to that is that if they say, okay, we wanted a draw or get something out of the game, but Arsenal found a way to win, but you're trying to be disingenuous and say, oh, we're just set with FC. No. If you want me to analyze you in good faith, you have to analyze me in good faith, which they're not doing.
They're not going to do that, because here's the thing. They're looking at this Arsenal team, and there's really nothing to criticize this team about. Let's be honest. There's really nothing that they can criticize team about that their team is not worse off at. Let me put it that way. There's stuff that we can criticize Arsenal about, but rival clubs know that there's not much they can say because their clubs are worse off in those things they want to say about Arsenal. And because of that, they turn to, oh, you got a set piece FC. Do you realize that we've only scored 2 extra set pieces more than I think Chelsea and Man City this season so far?
Exactly. And if you say we are set piece FC, that should interpret to majority of our goals should come from set pieces, which is not true.
I mean,
which is not true.
That's why I said it's an agenda-driven narrative, which I totally understand. So I understand that that's banter. They can call it Stoke, they can call it whatever. People have said, okay, somebody said, 800 million just to become Super Stoke FC. Somebody said, Nicola Jova should collect half of Mikel Arteta's salary. all kinds of nonsense, right? And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, if these corners are so simple, why don't you do them? And
okay, let me ask you a question. There's a question I want to ask people that I think I like their opinion, or I respect their opinion. Now, when it comes to set pieces, right? Because people make it very simplistic. Do you think it's about the takers of the set piece or the executionist in the box? Meaning the profile of players we have in the box have to perform, or he has to be people who are taking the set piece. Which one do you think
I think
has to?
It's both.
Okay, okay. For me personally, before I'll let you say it, I just think the profile of the players we have is contributing to the success of our set pieces.
Yes, so I agree with you with that, but it's both, because you have to ping the ball into a dangerous area. If you ping the ball into an area that is not dangerous, no matter how good the profile is, Gabriel cannot head from outside the 18-yard box from on the edge of the and beat a goalkeeper from there.
In the same vein, if Gabriel was not 6'4", very, very big and very, very aggressive, he doesn't score as much as he scores.
I know, but during Timber scored, he's 5'10". He was the shortest defender yesterday.
But he's aggressive.
Forget that.
The exception doesn't make the rule.
I know. What I'm saying is the ball. Look at where Arsenal drops their corner kicks every day. And I'm not saying the corner takers are more important. The reason why we have consistent corner takers, Saka and Rice, the reason of that is they train for that. Somebody made a statement. He said before the game started at the Emirates, when the players were out warming up, Saka was taking corner kicks to nobody, just pinging it into the right place there. And the guy recorded the video. He was livid. He's a United fan. He said, "This is when I knew that we were in trouble." He said the game had not started like 20 minutes when the players were out warming up.
Okay, let me provide a pushback before you finish, right? Ward-Prowse is one of the most prolific set piece creator in the league. Yes or no?
Yeah.
How many corner kicks do West Ham score before he plays now for Southampton? Who does he play for now?
Aston Villa, I think.
West Ham, right? No, he went from Southampton to West Ham. How come West Ham don't score a lot of set pieces? They have someone who can deliver set pieces, in my personal opinion, better than Saka and Rice.
So again, the set piece that Ward-Prowse is very good at is actually free kicks from outside the box. Ward-Prowse has never been known for corner kicks like that.
So as a Southampton, they scored some few corners too.
I'm not saying I know few, not as many. The difference is he scored more free kicks from outside the box than he actually assisted from corners in his career. Totally. So in isolation, you can say it's like David Beckham. Bend it like Beckham is a David Beckham thing. He's not bending it from the corner line like the way he bent it when he plays the free kick. It's two different things entirely. So James, we can look at him as and use that as a yardstick, but I say that the difference is it takes both parties, the ball in the dangerous area and the quality of the players there, to know how to screen and create space for one person. If you watch the aerial map of all Arsenal's corner kicks, I was looking at one today, just like the aerial view of how the players run. They run like they're playing American football. Like one person runs here, this person runs here, somebody screens the defender, Saliba back into somebody just to create space for Gabriel to come in. They did the same for Jurriën Timber.
That what makes it hard. That what makes it difficult for opposition players to actually mark us in the corner.
Yeah, but that ball has to come to the right position. Otherwise, this quality player, what is he going to do? So the thing is, it takes both people. Declan Rice's corner, one of his corner kicks yesterday, if nobody touches it, was going into the net.
I saw that one, yeah.
That ball literally was going into the net. That's how dangerous the corner takers are. And again, he knew that even if it doesn't make it into the net, if Onana tries to punch in that close range, it can rebound anywhere.
Definitely. Someone can ricochet the net back.
And that's exactly why your corner takers are very important, because Stoke did not have the best striker people, but they took really good corners and they were just popping it in.
And throw-ins too.
Yeah, a lot of people just, all right, we're going to be in the dangerous area, boom. Because once you're there's panic. Panic sets in for defenders. Defenders don't want to touch you because they don't want to concede a penalty.
Sure.
So there's all of these things running in the defender's head. You as an attacker have the advantage to just keep pinging. As long as the ball is in the dangerous area, pop it back at the net, So yeah.
So finish. Sorry, finish.
I said, and that's it for me. So I think both parties are very, very important. Both the taker and the players in the box.
in the box. So of course, I've been watching how people are trying to simplify it. I'm not saying they should see it the way Arsenal fans see it, because, like you said, if it's that easy, why do the 19 other teams in the Premier League not replicate what we are doing? Because they know it's not that easy. And I'm enjoying this. We have different weapons in our Arsenal. We can go playing the good football to score. We can go through set pieces. Maybe we should introduce throwing very soon. Get someone that control the long throws.
Actually,
Maybe that'll be the next thing.
I think that's the next half of the season that you see some of those things. And and here's the thing about it. A lot of fans, when they talk football, they just talk in isolation. So, for example, this whole set piece FC, because they scored 2 set pieces against Manchester United. Forgetting that the last 3 games we played, we scored from open play, and we had scored how many
10 goals? 5 against Sporting, 5 against West Ham.
5 against West Ham, and before that, 3 against
Nottingham Forest.
So we had scored 13 goals, of which how many of them were set piece? I think maybe only 2. And the rest of them
2.
Open play goals. So coming into the United one and scoring 2 set pieces makes it 15 goals in 4 games. 15 goals in 4 games with 4 set pieces. That's not a lot.
Exactly. They're just trying to exaggerate it.
Yeah, for a team that had 13 set pieces in 1 game and obviously probably had more of that in the other previous games and have only scored 4 of it, the ratio is really low as well. So it's just that the reason I think people are hammering on it is because we have consistent people doing it. So Saka always pings the ball. They make room for Gabriel. Gabriel scores. Saka pings the ball. We make room for Gabriel. We create space for him. He scores. It has now become a problem for people like, oh, Arsenal are so good at corners because it's this. They can't get it out of their mind that it's Saka Gabriel or Rice Gabriel.
And I think to what actually got under their skin more was that Gabriel was missing yesterday. So I think, the threat is gone.
Yeah.
The threat was gone.
That's a lot. Like, the threat is gone, boom. And then here comes Saliba scoring with his booty. Saliba.
I'm telling you. I really enjoyed that.
So for me, it's like the key thing is, like, I'm glad where we're at right now. And I was telling someone, I said, do you remember when I predicted that this season was going to end Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City?
Yeah, you called it. You called it a few streams ago. You called it. Yeah.
And now it's looking like it might become exactly what I said. And it was like, oh, United, what's the name? But you can't catch Liverpool. And I said to them, do you realize that by December 1st, for like almost the last 20-something years, Liverpool has always been top of the league. Almost.
Don't you think it's farcical, in my personal opinion, that we've not even played 20 games yet? It's not yet week 20. People are talking about you can't catch Liverpool. Mathematically and academically, is extremely. Even Man City are still within the range.
Chelsea are within the range. Man City are within the range. And here's what I wanted to say about the whole Liverpool thing. Liverpool have put themselves in a very good position that if they actually drop points now, which like they did recently with Newcastle, it doesn't hurt them. It doesn't hurt them that much because they still have poor position of 7 points. We still have to catch up. The pressure is on us to not lose any games while they can afford to lose one more game and still be 4 points ahead of everybody, because they can lose a game and bounce back. So they've set themselves up in a very good position, which is a very good thing for any team.
That sounds great until you know the competitive nature of the English Premier League, right?
No, that's what I wanted to speak about. I wanted to say, just like last season, by game week 20, Liverpool was 5 points ahead of Arsenal.
Exactly.
By game week 20, we were 5 points behind them. It wasn't a joke. Like, Liverpool was at the top of the league the longest last season out of Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. And by game week 32, the tables had turned. By the end of the season, we were 7 points ahead of them. Now, 5 points behind, 7 points ahead, that's a 12-point swing. You have to gain your 5 points and then add 7. So that's a 12-point swing. With a 12-point swing right now, if we keep up at this pace, we beat them and we catch them. Yeah,
I just believe. I just believe until it gets to game week 30, nothing is set in stone, because sometimes we like to exaggerate these things because the league is extremely competitive. I don't think anybody should be making any sensible appraisal. No, I'm not saying we should not give Liverpool their plaudits for what they've done. They've started well. Yeah, they've kept a gap, which is fantastic, but it's too early to be getting overly giddy and excited that Liverpool are going to win the league. I
But
don't think so.
you know why people do that? People do that because they just want to trigger Arsenal fans. It's not this that narrative. They know it. It's like when last season, Tottenham after 10 games at the top of the league, 27
Yeah,
points, 29. Oh my God, Tottenham is back. We have our Tottenham back. We're going to win the league.
yeah,
We knew that they were saying it just to trigger Arsenal fans and trigger other fans, rival fans, because they know for a fact, and even Liverpool fans cannot sit there and pretend like they're happy at where Liverpool is, but they know they were not expected to be there. So even they are a little panicky about what could happen if anything.
sure.
And I don't pray for injuries for any team, but I do know that teams will have their ups and downs, whatever the
It's,
ups
it's
and
not
downs.
it's not about you praying. It's part of the game.
No, I'm even saying like, if what I mean, like, you know how I could be like, man, I wish that these guys can get injured on time, like, you know, type thing. Some people are like that, but I don't want players to get injured, but I know it's part of the game because it hurts me
Yeah.
when the player is out, whether he plays for my team or not. That's what they love to do. That's their
Do you know
daily-
what? We can call me petty. Do you know I understand what you're saying. I subscribe to it partially, but look at it, right? When Arsenal key players get injured, rival fans celebrate it. I remember seeing a particular big streamer celebrating when Ishak was taken out of the game for the Liverpool game. I think he played a few minutes and he got injured and was pulled out. I was celebrating that Ishak was not going to play against Liverpool.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. People are different. So I don't let them do whatever they want. Everybody's free to do it. I just don't like injuries to players because I enjoy watching games. I watched the Tottenham game today. Forget that I'm rivals with and I don't like them, but I watch football, you know. So I watched the Tottenham game today because, you know, it's football and it's
I enjoy football too, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like if I don't see a Solanke playing, I'm just like, I don't like Tottenham, but man, I like Solanke. You know, it's telling you, like if I'm watching Bournemouth play and Semenyo is injured, I feel it because I'm like, I want to see Semenyo do what Semenyo.
So you want to see quality on the pitch.
I want to see quality on the pitch. So for me, like, you know, I want to be able to beat Liverpool this season without any of those excuses and win the league and be like, yeah, you had your Musala, your Van Dijks and everybody on 100, but we caught you and we passed you. You know, none of those, well, the City fell off and we got injuries. You know, that's
exactly
like we didn't have injuries. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
So yeah, that's for me, that's one of the things that I look at as regards to, you know, the injury type thing. But people can make fun if they want to. That's their business. It doesn't move me. I know where my club is at, and I know what I expect from my club. You know, and right now they're on track to do it. You know,
So were you happy with the result? Do you think the game deserved more than the 2 goals? Or I think we should have scored a few more. Unfortunately, couldn't convert the other set pieces, but a win is a win. For me, the win is important. Performance second. So for me, we had a good performance in the second half. The first half was ass. We won. On to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, we can't always be 100 in every game because there's a lot of games this season with a lot of games in the Champions League and a lot of games in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. And I mean,
sure,
we've just been drawn against who at the FA Cup again? Manchester United again in the FA Cup. We've drawn again. So there's a lot of games to be played. If we can be pragmatic enough to just win games, the games like this Man U game, because one thing people also should not forget is Manchester United and Arsenal have a history. Whenever we play, no matter how bad they are,
it's different. It's different. Like a derby.
It's always a
like
different
derby.
Like there's just something about the energy levels when we played them. We got last season, they weren't playing very well. When they came to play us, Rashford popped us immediately. Boop.
Exactly.
Rashford became prime Rashford overnight.
Exactly.
Caught Saliba and Gabriel. In fact, caught Saliba very well. We removed him. The same way Gabriel Jesus went to do his own. Rashford did his own earlier. You know, and so I always put that into context. I say, look, we can talk about all the football and how good it is, or the managers and where they're at, or how good each person's team is, or which team is better. But we can never remove that factor of what Alex Ferguson and Wenger have done, which is that rivalry
that they created. Yeah, that rivalry was actually strong.
Those games, we used to kick themselves. Look how they kick each other on the floor. United Arsenal is
Vieira versus Roy Keane.
Roy Keane, you know, yeah. So for me, that played a part in it as well, which is why a 2-0 win for me, like you said, do I think that more goals? I think a 2-0 win is a good win. In what I term it a derby to me, because of the kind of animosity it is.
between
and
the both teams.
between both teams. And again, we are just coming out of a rut of playing badly and actually start picking up good
Points again.
The performance is matching the results, which is good for us. They could have really had a new manager bounce against us. And then coupled with the derby issue and the whole mentality thing, we can't go there and lose. Yeah, it could have turned out any other way, So
but I'm happy with the result. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy
2-0,
with the result.
2-0 is good. I mean, 15 goals in 4 games, bro. What are we
talking
about?
We're
not a basketball team. So there's some Master fans out there. Why can't we just battle them 5-0? Guy, they didn't come here. The other team didn't come to sell ice cream.
Yeah, wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking.
The other team came to sell ice cream. The other team came to play football.
Exactly. And they have their professional pride to hold at stake. Like, come on, guys. So let's not do that. So guys, like the video.
I prefer a clean sheet, right? I prefer a clean sheet and 2-0 to what Chelsea did with the 5-1 battering. Every time you concede a goal, it takes away from you at the end of the season when you're looking at your goals difference. You might have more goals, you may have scored more, and you've conceded more, just like Tottenham did last season. They scored a lot, they conceded a lot, so they're
a lot, yeah.
So if we can stop conceding and just go on to win 1-0, 2-0, 1-0. Look, imagine playing the whole season, winning every game by 1-0. No, you don't concede any goal. 1-0 plus 1-0. And at the end of the season, you have your full 114 points.
That's sad.
But you only have 38 goals. I'll take it. I'll take 38 goals and 0 goals against me.
I think that sounds good. That's practically impossible.
It's practically it is, but that's what I'm saying. Like for me, if I were a manager, that would be my goal. So that if I fall short of it, I'm falling short of maybe like we did last season, 28, 29 games win, and then maybe 3 losses or 2 losses, and maybe whatever. If you
draw here and there,
draws here and there, But if you set those kind of goals, then yes.
So let's move to the Fulham game, which is next. Guys, like the video. Guys, subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on your notification bell. And you can go to Banter on the Pitch, which is his channel. Go and support him. Then like his video, subscribe, and drop your comments there. So we play Fulham on Sunday. Last year we lost at the Craven Cottage, unfortunately.
I don't like that place.
I like that place. But guess what? Gabriel had a habit of scoring at the Craven Cottage. He loves to score there.
I just don't like that place.
Why? The small stadium or the small pitch?
It reminds me of Highbury, but it reminds me of like the graveyard Highbury. Like our own Highbury is heaven. Their own is like a grave. Like the place there's just something about that place. And then again, man, there's just too many Arsenal players who are now in that Fulham team that I'm just like, I don't.
It will be Smith Rowe.
Yeah, I just.
There is Nelson is cup tie. He got injured today. Unfortunately, he put his hamstring. So Nelson is not going to be part of that. Even though he was fit, he will be cup tie. So we won't play against Leno, Iwobi, and Smith Rowe.
I don't want to play my boys. They're still my boys, man. I still love them. You know what I mean? Like, but he's gone. He's gone. I mean, so against Fulham, to be honest, I think it's a different season for us. The teams that did us harm last season, the Aston Villas and co. We've stepped up to the plate every time we've had to face them this season. So I expect that we'll step up to Fulham. I think it might end up it's Craven Cottage, so they'll probably score a goal as well. Smith Rowe has been in form. He's been playing very well. And I think
I watched him today. With the game they won against Brighton. It wasn't too spectacular, but Iwobi was looking good today. So let's see.
So I expect a tough game with Fulham. I expect a tough game. I'm just happy that a lot of our games going forward are in London. The boys don't have to travel too far.
Travel too much.
Go home to the house when they finish. They can sleep in their own bed. Wake up in the morning. Go back to training, because usually like this trips and hotel rooms and it plays a part. People just don't care about it, but it does play a part. No matter how comfortable the hotel room is, it's not your space.
It's not your bed.
You need to get yourself in a different headspace, and and all of that stuff. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, but I think we win. And I think we win convincingly. And I think
I share that sentiment too. I share that sentiment too. We'll beat them convincingly.
I think we beat them.
Especially what did it was last year. I think we are going there for a revenge.
I would just say I think we're going there to just make sure that what happened last year needs to be turned around.
Definitely.
Will I call it revenge for me? There's not. You can only revenge against somebody who genuinely had an impact on you.
That loss had an impact on our season.
I think we lost the season with
Aston Villa.
With Aston Villa. I think the losses that we had, because look at it, City had 3 losses last season as well. The loss to Fulham and West Ham and all those guys could have been our 3 losses. The Aston Villa losses, home and away, those 2 for me were key. And again, we played very well in those games. Not like we played badly.
No, Fulham away was one of our poorest game last season.
So that one for me, we deserved to lose that game. We didn't play well.
We deserved to lose it. We didn't play well.
After the Fulham game, we played very well. 20 minutes to the end of the game, somehow we just lost concentration.
Yeah, exactly.
So those are the games that I think we lost that because we were playing well. The games where we played poorly and we lose, I'm all up to give up those points. If you play poorly, you don't deserve to win.
Definitely, I understand that. Yeah, but I think we'll go there. I think the likes of Calafiori, the likes of Gabriel should be fit enough for that game. Moreno should play more. Partey. Now, let's see. My only concern is Mr. Timber. He has been. We don't have any ready-made substitution for Timber at the moment. Ben White is out. Tomiyasu has gone back to Japan. Like, we cannot overflog the horse of Timber. How do we manage Timber effectively in this jam-packed fixture condition that we're going through?
I'm going to say this. We didn't see him play last season because he got an injury, a bad ACL injury.
Yeah.
I think that he's back, and I think he's able to play the whole season up until... And we can play a different structure if we need to. We can play a different structure. If we need to rest Timber, we've seen Mikel Arteta do it in certain games that are not the most, like if we play again, maybe a Southampton and Ipswich or whatever it is. Yeah, sometimes it's the tough part.
Play Partey there.
Play Thomas Partey and right back before. I see nothing wrong with that. With him inverting and coming to the midfield and we're playing the back 3. We'll rest Timber for those kind of games. He'll take a break. And yeah, so I think they'll find good ways to kind of, let him be able to rest. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we hear some good news about everybody else. I mean, we know that Ben White is not back until like February.
Ben White will be back in January.
Yeah, like February is where we will begin to see him more. He's probably back in January, end of January, with training and getting in. He'll be on the list. He'll play for a few minutes, but February is where we can then say Ben White is back, and and even when he gets back, the question is: do you want to bench Timber, who's in form, and bring in Ben White because you want to rest Timber?
No, you just want competition in the team. You want somebody to, in case you need to Timber. You don't want to overplay Timber because he just came back from a big injury, which is ACL. So we have to manage him properly, especially when Tomiyasu. What has gone wrong with Tomiyasu? He played a few minutes against Southampton after coming back from injury, and he has gone out forever. Shout out to Mr. Efosa, my guy. Like he has gone out forever. He has gone out forever.
Injuries. Look, some of these players, man, you can't. Look, they're assets to the club, and you can't blame the club when the club is like, look, I'd rather be able to just keep this guy healthy so I can sell him eventually. That's really. But I really honestly don't know what's wrong with Tomiyasu right now. But I think in January again, because we're almost there, I think that if because Ben White, they said 12 weeks. And I think that when Ben White gets back after 12 weeks, he's still going to need at least 4 weeks of solid play time to reintegrate,
get back to form,
because it's a knee injury, and so we're talking about 16 weeks of game. That's about 16 games we're talking about. So my question is, the January window opens. Why don't we just go get a right winger backup?
No, I'm telling you on something I know. Ben White will be back middle of January.
I agree with you. I'm saying, but he's going to need.
No, as in you'll be playing actively.
The question again is: if Ben White comes back middle of January, are you benching Timber, who is in the form of his life?
No, it's not about benching him. It's about having options.
But that's right, I'm saying Ben White will still be on the bench as an option because Timber is still playing very well. The only time you're going to bring Ben White in is if you want to rotate and rest Timber. But if Timber wants
Definitely.
to play and Timber is in form, why would you want to rest him when the player is actively giving you what you want? Which means
Sometimes you have to manage players against their will. Even though
yeah,
you want to play every game, you have to just manage the players so that you don't get injured for the bigger occasion. Like Tomiyasu now. Tomiyasu is still contending for the right back and left back. Tomiyasu should be back in January latest, but we don't know whether he's going to play a few minutes and get injured again. That's a major concern for the club. So it is what it is.
Tomiyasu he's made of biscuits.
But if you notice, when we bought Tomiyasu, he played the first 12 games, no injuries.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean, maybe the Premiership is just a little tougher for him coming from the Italian league. You never know. Like some of these things, takes a toll on your body. You play 12 games and suddenly your body realizes I've overdone myself.
Yeah, I can't carry this load.
I can't. I'm not designed for this.
This is too much for me to carry. This is too much for me to carry.
I mean, I still know that if he gets back, he's a solid option for us.
Very solid. Very solid option. Yeah.
So for me, I think maybe, and we have people in the youth academy. We've got Hayden and all these other guys.
Nah, those guys are scrubs. Those guys are scrubs. I've seen those are scrubs.
Hear me out. I'm saying we've got those guys who can at least to rotate and rest 10-15 minutes at the end of the game, so that while Timber is
10-15 minutes in English Premiership is a long time.
10-15 minutes if you're up by 3 goals.
It's a long time. It takes one goal. It takes one goal to change the mood.
The Arsenal will not give up a 3-goal lead like City. This current Arsenal team. And this is the
let me remind you, against West Ham, 4-0, 4-1. People are like 4-2. The mood, the moods are changing.
I don't know, but mood is one thing. These players are now experienced enough. This is not the same young Arsenal team from 2-3 seasons ago that lose their head fully. What did they do when before?
You are talking about having a youngster in the team.
Let me finish.
Okay.
The 4-2, for example, that you mentioned right now. The second goal, the free kick, amazing free kick. Nobody stopped it.
Definitely.
The first goal was a lapse of concentration.
Trossard.
Yes. I won't blame Trossard for that. That's Calafiori was meant to be there. Calafiori was meant to be tracking back Wan-Bissaka. Trossard was supposed to be running into that channel to be able to block it. He left Trossard to do that. Calafiori was way too high up. This is why I said I can point at things that he does and that caused us issues. But having said that,
so you're on a train to always overly criticize Calafiori.
No, not to criticize. I'm saying that, but if that was his wing though. Like my thing is,
but Trossard could have closed that gap too. He was there.
Trossard is also has a blame, right?
Yeah.
Trossard will also have blame. Yes, you did, Mr. Cyrus, you did. I remember that. Trossard will also have blame there, but Trossard, his first job on the team is not really to defend. The person whose wing it is, that is your job to defend.
Everybody is there to defend and attack.
I agree. What I'm saying is the position that Trossard will have to put himself in to be one of, I'm here to back you up, Calafiori, so that once you get the ball, release me on that wing, let me start going back, because we always want to progress the ball forward. If I become the last man, my strongest strength is not defending as Trossard. I get
it. Gabriel's strongest strength is not scoring, but it does a lot of scoring.
I'm saying, but that's when we have the ball up front there. And there's a system that we've designed for him because of his height and because of his strength. Something has been designed to give him that option. If we didn't design that system, he's not going to be getting those type of goals. That's the truth. Gabriel is only getting that because Nicolas Jova sits down and says, if you screen here, if you run here, if you block the goalkeeper, and if you do this, it frees up this box. Gabriel, run in here. Make sure that that's what the corner kick is going to. And Gabriel, a lot of his headers, he just puts his head, eyes closed, boom. Once you're in the dangerous area, you score the goals. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying we've mastered it, and it's a good tool to have. But that 4-2 you talked about with West Ham immediately happened. What did they do? They settled their mind after the second goal, relaxed their brains, and then they took full control of the game again. Arsenal team 2-3 seasons ago would have collapsed. It would have been 4-4 by end of first half. That's the truth.
Yeah, so, but the context we're talking about is when you introduce a youngster.
So now I said you're up 5-2, right, against the West Ham, and there's 10 more minutes to go. I'll play a youngster. And what I'll do
I'm
is
not. I am not bringing. Okay, I'll
no,
play a smart youngster. I'm not bringing Hayden. I can bring in a Nwaneri,
what
but
what I'm saying.
Hayden
What I'm
or
saying
these
is,
guys,
I'm saying,
yeah.
well, we started from talking about how we can find ways to give
Timber a rest.
Timber a rest. I
Yeah.
can't bring in Waneri and then rest Timber. What I've done is I've taken out the defender, put in the attacking midfielder.
See what Efosa is saying is a great analogy, a great example. It happened to City.
Man City had been on a horrible run already. It's not as if City was on a good run. City had been losing games.
But that game they were 3-0 up, and they brought in a youngster.
My point exactly is City have been on a very bad run. So yes, the youngster was not the reason that they lost that game. It was because City was already on a bad run and the momentum of bad run was with them. They literally
No. I push back on that. I understand what you're trying to say, but
the games they lost before that, where they didn't play youngsters, whose fault was it?
But they never had 3-goal leads. They never had 3-goal lead.
Again, the games, even worse, against Tottenham, you didn't play any youngster, and what happened to you? You got run over 4-0.
The context, they did not have the lead. That's an important information in this conversation. They didn't have 3-goal lead. We're talking about having a 3-goal lead, and you bring in what I'll call an interference into the system that could collapse the system.
So again, here's what I'm saying. We're talking about the underlining thing for me is we're asking what can be done to give Timber a rest, because Tomiyasu is injured, Ben White is out. We have no cover for him right now. If he gets injured, we are screwed right back. I said one of the ways is in certain smaller games, play Thomas Partey right back, play Merino, play Rice, play Odegaard in midfield. Thomas Partey can come and invert, and we can play 3 at the back. That would be nice. Certain other games, we need the Thomas Partey profile playing in the midfield. I don't mind playing the double pivot in front of that youngster. I don't mind playing the double pivot in front of that youngster because they will cover him. Someone like Thomas will be able to cover and help him out, and it allows Jurriën Timber to rest. Otherwise, we're going to use him up. He's going to get tired, get burnt out, and then for 3-4 games, he'll perform badly, and Arsenal fans will turn against him.
Yeah, I understand that, right? But what we're talking about, that bringing the youngster for me at this level is not the best. I'd rather go with the Thomas Partey option or play Declan Rice as a right back in certain games and mix it up.
But that's what I'm saying. You need their strength. So Declan Rice plays better in either as a 6 or as an 8. He thrives very well there. Why would I take away one of my strongest 6s or 8s just because I don't want to take the risk of building somebody else to be a cover right back when I can easily give that cover?
I think the whole team misses a lot if you play Thomas Partey as a right back. I think his best position is to play that 6.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying so. I said in only certain games will I entertain the Thomas Partey in right back. For me to now create space for Jurriën Timber to rest, the only other option that I see is to play a youngster there, but play a double pivot in front of them so that we can cover for that youngster. And I think we have enough quality to be able to do that. We can't sit here and say we want to go ahead and win the league, and we have injury issues, and then we will then. It's like crazy. It's like in England when they moved Bukayo Saka from the right because they wanted to bring in Cole Palmer and
to accommodate him. Yeah,
you are taking away one of your most
strengths.
Yeah, I will now do the same in Arsenal. I'll remove my strength of Declan Rice, put him in right back because I'm afraid of putting the young boy there.
No, I'm saying I will put Declan Rice at the right back when Thomas Partey is playing that 6, because for me, Thomas Partey playing that 6 is better than Rice playing that 6.
I would play Rice and Partey in front of the back 4 with the youngster on the right, and I'll play Odegaard in front of that at the triangle. Odegaard in the middle here, playmaker, total 10.
That could work. That could work. Yeah, that could work. So
that then gives me Rice and Partey covering for my youngster to the right.
That could work.
And Rice has enough energy to go up and down as it is, up to 6 and do double pivot. And again, remember, the rest of my back 3 will still be Calafiori, Gabriel, and Saliba, which means I could even move the whole back 4 and bring in Miles to be Skelly on the left, so that way
Skelly is injured too. He's injured, unfortunately. He's injured.
Here we go. So how do we create space for him to have rest? We have to play somebody else.
So do you think our squad composition was flawed, or do you think we're just having a lot of injuries?
Flawed in what sense?
Now, because if you look at how we composed the squad at the beginning of the season, I think it was fantastic because we have cover for left back and right back in Tomiyasu and Timber, who can play both positions and they can play center half. unfortunately, those two injuries have affected our squad depth, whether we like it or not, because sometimes you cannot predict the injuries to certain players, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think injuries will do that to any team. Any squad will suffer that when it comes to the thing with injuries is any squad will suffer that. If you lose certain players that are key players that can cover for you, then of course it then becomes the luck of the straw, what you've drawn. But then this is where you have to find a way to just not lose games and win games as you go on, which is why I said things like in certain games, if I'm up against Ipswich 4-0, and there's 15 minutes, you're telling me that I should not panic if I put a youngster and I rest Julian Timber when I know I have a Champions League game coming on Tuesday.
Provided you had that caveat of playing your other senior team in such a way to protect the boy. Protect the boy.
Even when we talked about Ethan Nwaneri, what did I say at the beginning? I said, if I'm going to play Ethan Nwaneri as Odegaard's replacement, I need to have two solid defensive midfielders play with him because he's a creative young kid who goes forward. And I've not seen a lot of his defensive prowess in coming back to help. He comes back, but I've not seen a lot of it. I've seen him
I've seen, because I remember a subscriber of mine who put in the comment section that his defensive awareness is shocking. I'm saying, no, watch him properly. He does put in a good shift.
He puts in the shift. He does put in the shift. But I'm saying,
Fabio Vieira, he does it better than Fabio Vieira, who is a senior player.
That's what I want to say. Fabio Vieira, we didn't have enough data to watch. I mean, just very few games that we saw him in. Ethan Nwaneri, the same thing. Very few games for me to be able to say. That's why I said I haven't seen enough to say this is what
I've seen both of them in at least 7 games from both. From Fabio Vieira, I've seen.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot of data for 7 games because the consistency of it. This could be the 7 games you've seen. It could have been okay. I'm getting the chance to play, so I'm going to do my best. But can you be consistent like Odegaard every game? Start the press.
For you to earn more numbers, you have to show in those even small samples for you to earn more numbers.
So I agree that he needs to do. But like I said, because I don't have enough data, I'm not knocking him. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying even when we're talking about Ethan at the beginning of the season, I was like, if we're going to play Ethan, I'll play defensive people with him so that he can get into the groove of knowing the Arsenal way of playing defensively. Because offensively, he's a talented kid. He's a talented kid. Who can? I will just free him. Go and be free. Ethan, go on that pick. That's what I'll tell him. Because I know that when you tell the player that be free, as he might, and this guy has this guy will run through people. We've seen it. So now the thing I worry about is if he's going to be up front and can't track back as quickly, I need players that can cover. So I'll do the same exact thing for whoever I put him right back.
So that's fair. I think Oten has shown me, maybe the people have to watch him have shown me that he can do the offensive side and defensive side well in comparison to Fabio Vieira. His players I personally have my own like a love for. Unfortunately, his injuries and lack of physicality has shown that he might not succeed. He might not succeed in England.
He's been scoring since he went back to.
He's a good player. For me, I don't know about you. Let me ask you, because me and Efusa share the same.
Fabio Vieira is my guy.
Let me ask you a question, because me and Efusa have a disagreement. I think he's a better passer of the ball than Odegaard. Personally. Final ball passer. Because the goal that Nketiah scored against Fulham last season, and there was a goal that he gave to, the way he knows how to caress and pass that ball.
He knows how to do that. But you see, this is the thing about a better passer than Odegaard. I think his final balls are good. But
they're fantastic.
They're excellent,
not just good.
I think this is what it is. His final balls are excellent, but not as consistent when he plays. So he gets that one amazing final ball that he does in the game, and you're like, wow, and you never forget it. But the thing is, Odegaard has done so many good ones that we're just like we expect him to do it now.
No. I disagree. It's not that Odegaard cannot do it, right? Odegaard is more of a maestro, orchestrator. He dictates the tempo. Now, Fabio Vieira cannot dictate the tempo like Odegaard because of the physicality to do it. But that final ball to spot a striker on that run and place it in front, the right weight of the pass. I just think Fabio just have it.
Well, yeah, no, he does have it. I mean, I'm not even going to compare them, but like I would say that he has that. But for me, I like him. I think there's a player in there, but I think that he just wasn't ready for the Premier League.
Do you think he will ever be ready for Premier League?
I think he will. I think people are just talking about his size and all that. I don't believe in that nonsense. Like Odegaard was not as big as this last season when he was still doing like a lot of our players that Bukayo Saka, when did he bulk up recently? Eddie Nketiah was a tweak for the longest time, and these guys are playing in the Premier League. So I don't buy that. Oh, his body mass, his size, all that is excuses. I think his injuries are a major problem, and I think he just wasn't ready for the Premier League yet. Like Mikel Merino, when he played for Newcastle, he wasn't ready for the Premier League. He had to go away. Yeah. And now that he's back, even just coming off the bench, he always looks good.
He looks good. Yeah. I don't understand people thinking that he should be this overly athletic, fast player. Every player doesn't have to be overly athletic. I don't know why there is this English style that everybody has to be running like Declan Rice. No, he's a technical, gifted player that likes to dictate the pace of the game in his own pace. And we have to respect that. Everybody doesn't have to be this running. Yeah, everybody
running. Everybody to be Gallagher.
Exactly.
Gala horse, run up and down.
Wait, how is he doing at Atletico Madrid? Is he doing well?
I've not been following him. I'm not gonna lie. I know the first couple of games he shined.
Okay.
So there was I read a couple of articles and I saw some highlight videos where I think he scored a goal and he gave an assist in like the first 3 or 4 games. I think he scored in the first 3 or 4 games for Atletico or something random like that. And I'm like, well, hey, maybe that league is for you, man. Maybe that league is for you, yeah.
So, what are your predictions for the Fulham game?
Fulham game, I said convincingly, I think we're going to beat them 3-1. I think they would be able to score a goal. I would rather have a clean sheet, but
I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I think we're going to beat them 4-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. Yeah, I think we'll keep a clean sheet.
Don't bring that 14-year-old boy Max Dallman into this team here. Don't even do that. You guys
No. Say, we need to wrap that boy in cotton wool and keep him. That he's talented. We agree. He's talented, but he's not yet ready. We agree. Dallman is talented, but
he couldn't even because of the age limits. He was not able to play for the under. What age? He was not able to play for one tournament. The under 21, I think, FA Cup.
Yeah.
Like there's an age limit for that one. But he's able to play for the under 21 in like regular or something, some random thing that I read, and I was like, I don't understand this. So we might as well, if we're going to bring him, let's bring him now, and let's bring Odegaard's brother too, so that we know that we know about BPFC now.
He's talented, but he can train with the first team, but I don't think he's ready to actually be thrown into a Premier League game. Like let's calm down. One said has not gotten enough time to play, so
yeah, I think Ethan has been managed very well. I like how he, so yeah. But this Fulham game, I think it's going to be 3-1. The reason I say they score is Fulham find a way to score at home. I don't know why they always do it, but it is what they do. So I think we convincingly beat them 3-1. And I think once it's like 20 minutes at the end of the game, Mikel Arteta just needs to, bring in some other players and let's rest.
Exactly.
There's a lot of games.
Do you think he's going to do what he did against West Ham? But no, was it West Ham that he made a few changes? He brought in Jorginho. He brought in Jesus.
That's necessary. Very, very necessary because there's so many games. Look, we just played yesterday. We're playing again. Weekend
on Sunday.
On Sunday, we're going to play midweek again. There's going to be
Champions
now.
League.
We just want to draw with the FA Cup. Like there's so many games coming that
definitely
you can't afford to be like Thomas Partey, play 90 minutes, knowing fully well that you can get injured. You can't afford to be like Declan Rice, play 90 minutes all the time too, because he just came from a broken toe. The toe was healed, but
you have to manage it properly. We have
break to the game. You can't do that with Timber because he also just came back on ACL, regardless of what anybody says. That's a massive injury to overcome. Calafiori has always had knee injury problems, and he had a bad ACL as well in his young career when he was 18. And so that's why his issue is a big deal. You got to manage these players. They're talented, but we have to find a way to manage them.
So I'm expecting maybe Gabriel, Jesus, and maybe Jorginho might start this game. Maybe let's see what Mr. Arteta have for us on Sunday. So I'm predicting a 3-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. We need to keep a clean sheet. We need to bring out that habit of keeping clean sheet. I think we need it. So let's see what will happen. So, guys, shout out to everybody for making this stream a wonderful one, especially Mr. Banta on the page. Go support his channel. Go and like his videos and make sure you subscribe. Very, very important. So, your last word as we run off this stream?
My last word is, come on, you Gunners. Let's just go and win this EPL. This season, Mikel Arteta, give me a quad. Give me a quad. I want the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. I want the Champions League and the Premier League. I want you to shut everybody up one time. Honestly, like in an alternate universe, if I had the power,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
Like Thanos to just, I would just turn around, look at Mikel Arteta, and give him all 4 trophies in one season. But I'll tell him the only criteria is once you win it all, for all those Arsenal fans that have hated on you, resign
Yeah.
immediately, win it all. Resign.
No,
That's
no,
the
no, 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 no. I
that's
don't
the
want
only,
you to resign.
I'm saying that's the only criteria by which I will make it happen for him to win all 4 in
Happen
one
for
season.
him.
Otherwise, you're not going to win any trophy for the next 2 seasons. That's how I'll cost him. If I'm a genie, I'll tell him, here's what it is. I give you all this season by snap of my finger. Only criteria is you resign. You resign after you finish. Because a lot of Arsenal fans don't appreciate what this guy has done. This guy inherited Kolasinac, Rob Holding.
Torreira in the midfield.
Torreira was correct. Torreira was earning 100 and something thousand a week, right? Maybe 180 grand a week or something like that. Champions League player money, but not
Exactly.
or not qualifying.
Not performing well. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like we had players that he had to get rid of, and this is why when people say, "Oh, but Chelsea didn't," I said, "Listen, the difference is, what is Maresca's first job in the Premiership?" I said, "Yes, but Maresca was handed talented young players.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta was handed the crap team to remove
scrubs. Yeah, scrubs.
Out and then building his squad. So now that he's built his squad, I don't want any excuses for him. So my final word to him is, let's go win this EPL. Let's go win the Champions League, and I want to win those 2 to just shut people up.
Like I tell my friends, we are winning the Carling Cup first, whether people believe it or not. Just mark my words, we are winning the Carling Cup. If you see the way Arteta is so strategic in how we are actually attacking and engaging this tournament, this guy is diabolical in a positive way. He knows what he's doing.
He does. He does. I
knows what he's doing.
I trust him, but I also realize that football can be football. You know what I mean? Like you can know what you're doing, and then things just turn around for you. It happened to us with Liverpool in the last FA Cup that we played them. We were the better team, but somehow they won that game.
Exactly.
And that is where football can be very painful for a lot of people. So
yeah, very cruel. Very cruel.
You might come in with the right strategy, the right setup, the right players. Everybody's playing top notch, but luck just doesn't ride your side, and it's just not your thing. So I'm just asking that, let the gods of football smile down this season.
Yeah.
And favor. Let's get the stroke of luck that we need in the games that we need, and whenever we play well, we should be able to at least come away with a result. So yeah.
One thing, I like what you said, but I see it from a different perspective like this way, right? The Arsenal fans who are the naysayers, they are doing business, because it's not about the love for the club anymore. It's about they have to be sensationalizing a lot of things for views and clicks that translate into money. So to generate the traffic, it's not a business. So you have to look at it from that perspective too.
I get that perspective, but it's not. I'm not talking about the guys who really make the content or the negative content or the big names. It is more the people who follow them and believe what they're saying. People who don't take the time to go research their own club that they say they love. People who don't.
But
so
7% of human beings follow. They look up to people. Unfortunately,
that's what I'm saying. That those people don't deserve Mikel Arteta, because at the end of the day, you're not taking your time.
But no, Mr. D, it's not their fault. Like, let's go by what I just said. Most people like look up to somebody. Someone has to influence them.
I agree with you. So I'm saying
those guys are being influenced negatively.
I'm saying if you're taking your influence from a negative place, sadly, I cannot turn around and show you any type of sympathy, because you are also not making an effort to listen to any other side. All you're doing is, this is what and because you are happy with what you're hearing, and that's what you want to hear. The truth is, if I genuinely love something, right, and I'm hearing negative things about it, I'll say, okay, hold on, all these negatives, what is it good that this club is doing? And then try and find that out. The fact that I'm not even making an effort shows that I want to hear negativity about the club. And so for me, I show no sympathy to such people. And that's why I said, if Mikel does a madness and wins a double, a treble, if I'm Mikel, I'll just resign.
But why I would not agree to that logic is that if the drug dealer is not producing drugs, we want people who are personalizing the drugs.
Yeah, if the drug dealer is not producing drugs, people who
Yeah.
no,
That's it.
but here's the thing: the people who want drugs will somehow find ways to manufacture it themselves.
No, they don't have the intelligence if the drug dealer is not manufacturing drugs.
You assume they don't. The
No,
reason
most of them don't have intelligence to produce
the
it.
reason why they go to the drug dealer is because there is an avenue where they can get it. When they don't have that avenue anymore,
That's not the sole reason. That's not the sole reason.
This is where you know that their brains work. This is where you know that their brains work, and they all of a sudden like, I have nobody, I'm going to do it myself. I'm like, yeah, you'll be shocked.
See, I understand what you're saying, but if you look at life and if you try to strip it down, you understand that most people are not intelligent. I'm not saying I'm the most intelligent person in the world or you are the most intelligent person in the world. I'm just saying most people are influenced. We see it on social media. The bimbos with billions of views and followers, they like to look up to somebody. So if you have more people who are creating that negative content, who are not giving them objective content, people will be molded a certain way.
I agree, but I said I show no sympathy to those people because genuinely you can't just hear one side of something. I don't care how much you say they're not intelligent. I think everybody's intelligent enough to know that, oh, what I'm hearing here is just negative. Is there any positive in their brain? Like, there's no way your brain is that warped to one side. Like, all I hear is somebody calls me every day and says something bad about you consistently. At a point, I'm like, hold on, is there nothing good this guy has done for you or you've seen or heard of? You can't just tell me everything.
You are presuming people should be on your intelligence level.
No. It's because that I'm listening to it and accepting it also want to keep saying bad things about you.
Not necessarily so. Sometimes some people are not as intelligent as you think.
Listen, that's why I'm not making an effort. No, you don't need intelligence to make an effort to find out the other side. You don't need intelligence. That is something that.
So like, how come it's not difficult for a lot of people to do that if not intelligent?
It's not. It's because these people are attracted to what they want to hear, and so there are people who are. That's what I'm saying, that I show them no sympathy, and I say that look, sometimes people like that don't deserve what they've gotten from this manager so far, because they come from a place of self. What's the word again? We deserve this. I deserve this. Yeah. This manager hasn't won me a trophy. This manager, and then you ask them like, okay, he hasn't won your trophy, really, but he won the FA Cup. It's not his FA Cup. It's Unai Emery's FA Cup.
It's his first season.
It's his first season. He did not do anything. I said, okay. Then look, after all, even though United are crap, Erik ten Hag won a cup in his first season, but Mikel Arteta won a cup in his first season too. No, he didn't win a cup, and I'm like, all you want is you want to be negative about it. So
exactly,
you see what I'm saying? Like they don't give any context. They use Erik ten Hag as an example of winning a trophy, even though he was a bad manager for United. I'm not saying he's a bad manager overall, but he didn't fit the United mold. And because he won a trophy, they say he won the trophy in his first season. Oh, okay, well, but Mikel also won a trophy in his first season.
Yeah.
No.
Mikel was dealing with a horrible a squad barely on his feet. So it is what it is.
So people like that generally don't want to give any, like, I would criticize Arsenal if the criticism is warranted as regards to how we play in the game. If Mikel makes wrong choices, I will criticize him.
Definitely. I'm not here to pander to Mikel Arteta. I will criticize him and I'll give him explode it when he did.
But I will not sit here and just crap on my club when I know that.
Yeah.
I do more research about what goes on in the club, and I understand, okay, well, you know what, as a fan, I really want this trophy, and you've got to deliver one for me, because the only thing the trophies, and I'll tell you this, the only thing trophies do for me, right, is the banter on the outside.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good for my cabinet. And that's what I was telling one of the City fans who was talking crap to me the other day. I was trying to talk down, and I said, dude, I haven't won the Premier League for 20 years, and you still haven't caught up to the amount that I have. I have 13.
Yeah.
I said you had 20 years to win 80 trophies to catch up to me and beat me. Every year, 4 tournaments. You had 20 years to win 4 trophies every year, which is 80 trophies. You would have caught up to me. I still have the 3rd most trophies in England in football history, and none of you have caught up to me yet. Doesn't that say a lot about your golden generational era of Guardiola? Does that not say a lot about your golden generational era of Chelsea and all these other clubs? I'm like, you still haven't caught up to what I've done. And then Chelsea fan was like, yeah, but we have a Champions League, you don't. I said, Nottingham Forest had the Champions League.
Wait. The Champions League has not ended. It's still an ongoing competition. When they talk about that,
I honestly, as much as I respect that tournament, it annoys me when people try to use it as the top of the top of the top.
No, the league to me is superior to the Champions League. I'm not saying the Champions League we should not win it. Personally, the league is superior to the Champions League. It's more difficult to win than Champions League.
Yeah, because for me, the Champions League, you can get an easy ride and you get to the end and then boom, you take a win. Nobody gave Borussia Dortmund the chance last season, but look at how far they went. Nobody thought
to the final.
Yeah, nobody thought Borussia Dortmund would be there. Look at how far nobody gave them a chance. Everybody, and
definitely.
That's why the Champions League is for me a game of
luck of the draw,
game by game, luck of the draw, and just win and move on.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's it. I just want a team this season that will go on to win something, so I can shut a bunch of people up. But I also
Me too.
I just also want a team that will not regress.
I don't think we regret. I just want the respect to the squad and Mikel Arteta. We need to cement that respect by winning something, and I think this time we're going to do it. I think we're going to do it at the right time.
I know we're going to do something this season. I don't even just think I know we are. Like I said, I'd already called my prediction when the season began. I said it again. I'm going to say it again. It's going to be Arsenal, Liverpool, City will be third. For those of you that doubted it, I knew City was going to fall off. I don't know why I know. I don't know how I know it.
I did a stream with Go With The Flow, and I told him last year, I told him, without missing water, your team was declining. He called me all kinds of names. Oh, I'm jealous. I see your team was declining.
I don't think it was a decline for me. Like, honestly, I didn't even think that they were declining per se like that. I
started coming.
I just thought to myself that Pep has stayed too long to renew his contract. The guy is tired. Just go look at Pep's history with the clubs he's been at. He's tired.
I think the squad too is declining. The legs are no more there. Rodri is a big miss.
That's part of it. That's definitely part of it. But I'm saying, like, my thought process when I said they would come third was I just said that Pep is tired and Pep doesn't mind. He doesn't mind just playing Champions League.
No, hate us.
Like he doesn't mind coming third and trying to win the Champions League again because he'd be like, I want to Champions League and then I'm out and I've already done it. I've done the 4 peats. Like, I think he's tired. And you can begin to see
and secondly, I think Pep underrated the quality of other teams. See, if you look at the Premier League, I'll always tell people, on a bad day, if you drop like 10 to 15%, a Brighton can beat you. A Bournemouth can beat you. Every team, aside from Southampton, have quality of some sort in their squad. So when you understand that, you have to understand you cannot afford to drop in terms of quality. So I think their squad was aging and it did not replenish this properly.
I hear you. I hear you on that side. I think that's also, like I said, I think that's also a major part of it. But I was looking more when I was thinking about it from before the season. I was like, well, you still have KDB, you still have Rodri, you have all of these good players, you have Haaland. So I'm just like, yeah, you can still do a madness because you have your core team. Now, Rodri's injured for the season. That's a different story. That changes everything. Because this City team was winning without Rodri at the beginning of the season. Rodri had not played in the first 3 games, and they were winning.
Yeah, for a few games. You can remember when Odegaard was injured, right? For the first 3 games, we did not feel it. It takes a while before you feel the absence of the quality player sometimes.
But at the same time, they found a way to win without him in those first 3 games, which is what they needed to have done in this last few games that they played, which is what we also needed to have done in the other games that we played. Find a way not to lose.
But the practicality before, the empirical evidence before just shows that those players are fundamental to the system. You can do it for a few games. Can you do it for an extended period of time? The answer is a capital no.
An extended period of time. If you've done it for 3 games, then maybe you can do it for another 3 games. Till you get your man back.
It's like saying I'm comfortable with Kivior playing 3 games. But I prefer Gabriel to play throughout the season.
Yeah, but it's also how you use the players. I think that we can't always, because what happens if Gabriel gets injured and Saliba? What are we saying? Like, we have to get to a point where some of these players, we have to find a way to use them in games and not lose. That's all I care about. In those games, I don't care how beautiful the soccer is. I don't care how bad it is. Just go in there.
I get your point. I understand your point, but for you to win at a certain level, you need certain players to stay fit all season. It is what it is.
No, I agree. No, that's a given. I'm just saying, but when you don't have those players, you just have to. You at this point, it's either you give up the league and say, "Well, I don't have the players that can do it," and just lose every game, or figure out a way to say, "Hey, we might have to take the next 3 draws before this guy comes back, and then we'll switch on our winning. We're just not going to lose, is what I'm saying. You know,
I get that point, but unfortunately for City, they have Rodri out for the season, so there's no way you can create on that system that needs a Rodri for them to flourish. They just have to either go to the market or
you play a double pivot, which is what he doesn't want to do. Play a double pivot, which is what he doesn't want to do, which is what he should do, because Rodri does the job of 2 people literally. But play pivot. You can have Kovacic playing defensive and then put somebody else there. And you guys would have been, City would have been fine. But anyways, I'm glad.
Okay, City. Yeah, me too. I'm glad they're going through, so we can win. So I love it that way. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this very interactive session, this live stream. Shout out to Banter on the page for granting me his time. And shout out to you guys for granting us your time. You could have been doing a lot of other things with your time, but you decided to join us. And if you're watching the playback, please like the video. Please go to Banter on the page and make sure you subscribe to his channel, like his videos. Very, very important. The last message, you cannot underrate anything nice. Someone said at the beginning of the season that Bournemouth was going to beat City, Spurs. No, exactly. In this league,
Bournemouth has beat City, Spurs, and Arsenal.
Exactly.
Like let's not even man, this league is just it's a crazy league.
It's a crazy league.
The same Spurs that beat City 4-0 got trounced by Bournemouth.
It is what it is. So, guys,
let me ring the bell for them.
You should. Oh Lord. So, guys, if you're watching the playback, please like the video, please subscribe, and all those jazz. We'll be leaving you guys for now. Hopefully, we'll be back on Sunday after the Fulham game. If Mr. Banter on the pitch is available, we'll be here to actually review and talk about that match more in-depthly. So, that'll be all for now. Keep supporting us now. Keep supporting the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.